In the most critical time of our economy, Belgium is losing. We are investing in science, in technology, and in research, but are failing to turn it into real-world impact, growth, competitiveness, and prosperity for our society. Our innovation is often going into multinationals, and our breakthroughs are going into somebody else's product portfolio. And meanwhile, small, medium-sized enterprises are paralyzed. They're overwhelmed by complexity, afraid of technology, and frozen in the face of constant change. And here's the naked truth. Technology will not fix this. Neither technology transfer. What we are missing is design. Design is what breaks the paralysis. Design is what breaks the mold of status quo, conservatism, and compromise. Design is what makes technology valuable, understandable, and adopted. Who is using AI? Who understands the AI? Who understands quantum computing? Who believes that in the future there will be a strong user of quantum computing technology? Right? When I first read The Circle of Innovation by Tom Peters, the marketing guru and professor, I was 5 years in my professional career as a product designer. There is a whole chapter in that book that's called Design is the New Technology. And the quote out of that chapter, "Design is it," stuck with me for my whole career. At the time, mid of the 90s, I just landed a job as an R&D lead of a recently acquired company in Los Angeles. The West Coast was buzzing. The internet was exploding. And companies like IDEO, later known for framing the term design thinking, and also Frog, that worked with Steve Jobs to create the first Macintosh, they were not only developing products, but actually shaping complete new industries. Every month, my wife and I, we're both designers, actually here from Antwerp, drove up to San Francisco and Palo Alto to visit several of those design companies. And we were obsessed with one question: what makes design such a strategic force? And it feels like, after a moment also, and talking with those different companies, that it was not the products that they were designing, but with whom they were talking. They were actually talking with the entrepreneurs and executives that were seeking for investors to understand the new business created by the new technology at that moment, the World Wide Web. Sounds familiar? They are using the design toolbox and mindset to really get into the core of that new technology and understand the value proposition that it could be for their users and their customers. That mindset shifted my approach forever. I took that mindset back to Europe, back to Barco, where I started integrated strategic design into our processes in the control rooms. Not as a product designer, but as a strategic marketeer, because that gave me also more business impact in the company. We even brought Tim Brown, the idea of London, into our design process. We played, we had fun, we created new concepts, we disrupted some of the ideas. And our executives, they were shocked. They didn't get it. We were just too early. The corporation wasn't ready. But a year later, some of those concepts were building actually Barco's innovation. But it took time and really effort to change the view what design could mean to strategy and to companies. Let's be honest. Design is still misunderstood. Design is not styling. Design is not the lack of paint. Design is not the department that makes your slide deck look prettier. Design is what makes complexity human. It's really aligning technology, people, and purpose into what matters. The design process, it's a messy one. And that's also often the problem. It's non-linear, it's fuzzy, and then it's actually creating some frustrations. Let's have an example. Usually at Barco Innovation, we were following suppliers' roadmaps. We actually took in suppliers' roadmap and looking for more pixels, more resolution. That was linear, predictive, and safe. But it was clear that our management and actually the development team, through the designer's lens, realized that our customers did not need more. They needed less. Less noise, less power consumption, less space. So we took initially the bold decision to skip several of those technology upgrades and designed a completely platform from scratch. We lost some deals during that process, but 2 years later, we initially launched one of the most successful control room displays in Barco's history. And it was not because of the technology specifications, but because we designed what mattered. And this is initially what design does to strategy. It really aligns things that matter. Let me also say this. While many countries around us are investing in design thinking and implementing design thinking in different sectors, Belgium is still stuck. We are not actually investing there. Countries like Switzerland, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, the Netherlands, they're all in the top 10 of the recently published Global Innovation Index. Belgium, number 24. We are lagging behind. And it's not because we're lacking research, it's not because we lack engineering talent, but we are failing to turn that knowledge into real impact. We're failing to bring really that extra level that creates that prosperity and innovation spark. Other countries like Finland, UK, South Korea are implementing strategic design into their national innovation programs. They are bringing design into their mission-driven programs. They have design-driven living labs. And they are teaching their entrepreneurs and also their policymakers in design thinking. Dear CEOs, dear policymakers, dear business leaders, you don't need to understand every design methodology. You don't need to create wireframes or prototype services, but you have to create a culture that values questions as much as answers. You really have to align and trust that messy process of design. And you have to invite your designers into strategic conversations and invest in design leaderships. And even, I'm challenging you to go further, because that's not going to be enough. Don't delegate design, engage, participate, engage with it. Be curious, be open, be part of that design sprints, those critical reviews, and those user observations. Learn to lead, not just by saying and thinking, but by doing and framing. And bring your designers also in the strategic conversations. Many CEOs are demanding innovations, but still think about design like decorations, engineering, and development. Break that mindset. Going from a decision maker into a creative enabler. That's the way we're going to change and actually fill our innovation funnel and get better. Designers are bringing something rare to the boardroom, and that is empathy when the world is driven by data. That is optimism when the world seems to be disrupted. And it's systemic thinking when everything is siloed. Designers, they see the whole, but also the detail. And they are asking the uncomfortable questions that lead to the right answers. So if there is one thing to take with you today, let it be this. Design is it. And it's bloody time we're acting like this.